Welcome to the President's Desk, simulcast on 96.9 FM KGPC and Peralta Television, where Laney College President Dr. Rudy Besikof speaks with community members, colleagues, and student leaders. This program is supported by Technical Director Felicia Bridges, who co-hosts along with Laney College President Dr. Rudy Besikof.
Pull up a chair and join me and Felicia at the President's Desk today. Student communications is the topic on the table, and we welcome our speech leadership club members, Maya Flowers, Opal Chan, and Jerry Pablo Romero to the show today. In and around our conversation, as always, we'll put the spotlight on our partners of Laney and discuss ways to support the Peralta College's foundation and its efforts to provide scholarships to our great students. As always, the President's Desk airs at 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. on FM 96.9 in Oakland, that's KGPC, or online at kgpc969.org. Also on TV, Channel 26, cable folks. We can be seen Sundays from 1 to 2 p.m. Felicia, we seem to be getting noticed a little bit more on the TV front.
That's fantastic. I like that.
Yeah, it's not bad. Cable stars that we are. Yeah. Can't catch us on the radio or TV at 2 a.m. or p.m. No problem at all. All of our episodes, 71 now, are available anytime on demand at kgpc969.org, along with a lot of other great Peralta programming, such as the Merit Hour. And as always, we can be heard on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. Want to interact with the show? Be sure to send us an email to laneypodcast@peralta.edu. And on social media, you can like us on Facebook at Laney College President's Desk Podcast, or you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Laney Podcast. You can find select interviews on YouTube as well by subscribing to my channel, which is the Laney College President's Desk. I'm Rudy Besikof, proud president of Laney College, a pillar that has been serving our greater Oakland community since 1927 and has now been known as Laney for more than 65 years, and where once again this semester, spring is free. You know, Felicia, great teams is what it's all about. And in addition to you as my great co-hosts and our guests, which we're going to be getting to know in a minute, Elena Sanchez in my office books guests for the show, and Raya Zion is great, and she pitches in as our show contributor, and I understand she might be coming back to start contributing on the air pretty soon. Yeah, we're going to be bringing Raya back. But you know what? I want to get things kicked off today by saying hello to you and just see how things are going, Felicia.
Rudy, things are going pretty good. I'm busy as always, but I'm just happy that the spring is coming. Well, it's here. It's here already, and that the weather's warming up.
Well, you know, by the time this hits air, probably we're going to be right up against graduation. And I was thinking,
yes, we would.
Do you have any good graduation memories?
Well, I think it was the first time that I experienced the graduation. I'm sorry, at BCC.
That's all right. We welcome BCC students and colleagues on this show anytime, so it's no problem.
When I first became their PIO, and it was the first graduation that I also had a part of being in and a part of, and it was great being on that, I guess, giving end of it, not the receiving, and it was a blast. It really was.
All right, I'll go ahead and share that when I got my master's. It was really a unique experience because I probably one of the few people that's had a December graduation and not one in May or June. And it was in Denver. It was 10 below outside, so we were freezing. And as an undergrad going to the University of Colorado, when it was our turn to graduate with our bachelor's, they would say, "Will the students in the School of Arts and Sciences please stand up and be recognized?" And then there was about 30 seconds of woohoo, and that was it. So they only mentioned the names of the people getting master's degrees or doctorates or things like that.
Oh.
And I was kind of expecting the same. So it was really cool that that was the first time I heard my name called at a graduation, which was when I got my master's, not my bachelor's.
Okay.
So anyway, you know what? I want to turn to our guests and actually would like to start with Maya. Maya, of course, graduation's upcoming for you, but welcome to the show. Do you have any past memories of graduation that stand out?
Wow, well, peace and greetings. Thank you, everybody. Well, when I graduated high school in 2020. So my graduation was a particularly unique one because it was a drive-through graduation. So what my school had done is we had to pick time slots for our graduation. So mine was somewhere between 1:30 and 1:40. We had like exactly 10 minutes. We had to drive through with our families and receive our graduation diploma. And yeah, and it was like really in the pandemic, like the pandemic had just hit.
Full on. Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Opal, how about you? The last time you graduated, do you have any memories of that?
Well, the last time I graduated high school was in 2021, and I also graduated during COVID times, and actually, I thought we were gonna graduate on Zoom like the last class did for our high school. I went to Oakland High, by the way, and
Okay. Good partner of Lainey. All those OUSD schools are so awesome.
yeah,
oh hi.
and the graduation was fine. There was like a limited number of guests you could bring or family members. Other than that, it was your normal graduation, like gifts and stuff and walking the stage. Yeah, like what a graduation would seem like.
All right. Going to ask the third person in your club. Jerry, how about you? Jerry Ramirez, what do you remember about your graduation?
Yeah, so I'm the eldest of the trio. I graduated in 2019, and it was pretty cool. It was right before the pandemic. Everything felt normal. I remember I brought my skateboard up on the stage, hiding it in my gown, and then I rode it across.
Oh, nice.
And then I did like shout something into the mic. I'm not sure if like anyone's a Avengers fan, but in one of the movies, like Iron Man's daughter says, "I love you 3000." And then I said that to like the graduating class. And then I ran off.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing. Well, you said you're the eldest of the trio. You're not the eldest in the room. And Felicia, I won't ask you to disclose, but I'll just tell all of you I was class of 1986 for graduation. So not quite in one of those natural history museums, but getting close.
I'm not telling.
That's right. But anyway, tell us about your majors. What are you studying?
I'm studying communication studies.
Okay, Maya. So you're a comm studies major, and
yes.
What are you looking to do? Just
honestly, when I chose my major, I chose it because that was the part of my personal and professional development which needed help the most.
Okay.
I just knew that communication was super important to contribute ideas and collaborate, and I don't know exactly where it's going to take me, but I'm trusting the process.
So it sounds like if your life is a puzzle, communication studies was kind of that piece you wanted to bring into it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jerry, how about you? What's your major? What are you interested in?
I have a few interests, but for now it's mechanical engineering. I mean, I have some ideas about physics or like medicine, but yeah, they're all great. And
so if I'm on the fence and I don't know what I want to study, what would you say to maybe sell me on the idea of being an ME major?
I'd say is that it's very creative because you get to design things. I mean, the rest are more so sciences and how would I say, like I don't mean to say that they're all like, I think the best way to put it is that they all have different sort of categories in like toughness, if you will.
Okay.
And so I feel like if anything, engineering is worth it because you have that creativity aspect versus the others might be sort of like, how would I say, like calculation based or depending on your medical classes, right? A lot of memorization of like body parts and how they are all utilized.
Well, the part where you kind of hooked me a little bit was designing things. What have you designed?
Oh yeah, so right now I'm in engineering 22. It's a class here at Laney College, and we practice with this software called Fusion 360, and I've designed things like a vice grip, and right now we're learning about like how to utilize like those software programs to do like some machining within our fab lab with like the laser cutters and the 3D printers.
All right, you mentioned the Avengers earlier. I'll do another movie quote here. The vice grip you designed, does it look anything like the hand in the Terminator?
Hand in the Terminator. No, I wish mine was very simple. Yeah.
Well, actually, given what happened to the world after that was designed, I'm glad it doesn't look like that, quite frankly. But Opal, how about you? What's your major? What are you studying?
I'm currently studying anthropology, and when I transfer, I'm probably going to define the major a little more. I'm probably going to study socio-cultural anthropology when I transfer.
If you came to my high school, let's say I'm a graduating senior and just came to talk to me as a college student, what would you say to sell me on anthropology as a major?
I would first ask if they like psychology or sociology because it's kind of similar in that field. And then I would educate them about what anthropology is, because anthropology, definition wise, it means the study of human, and it's practically the whole psychology and sociology stacked together, if I'm being honest. But there's more emphasis on culture and what's inside life, besides science, because psychology and sociology kind of like psychology is like science, and then sociology is like getting to know the people, and so it's a mix of those two. Overall, it's pretty interesting, and it depends on what they like. So I would ask them what they like first, and then dive into how it would relate to anthropology to get them hooked on.
Kind of puts you on the spot there. That's a good definition. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you a little bit more. So what are you looking down the line to do with a major in socio anthropology?
I'm looking forward to being a researcher, or probably going abroad to do work, because my major would help me a lot on
Put you in the hot seat. I'm sorry.
No, there are a number of areas. Let me ask you this, just to kind of maybe pull this along.
Studying ancient civilization.
I could.
Yeah.
It's just so broad, and I feel like even right now I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do.
Okay, so it's as an anthropology major, let's say I hand you one anywhere in the world airplane ticket. Where would you go as your first destination as an anthropologist?
Quote, he said first.
Good. That's good. Pressure off.
I'd probably go to Egypt. There's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of archaeology related stuff, if I'm really trying to go towards ancient civilization, and also a lot of emphasis on history, which is something that I'm also interested in.
Egypt would be a great place to start. And actually, Felicia, I've traveled a little bit, but the two countries left on my bucket list are Italy and Egypt. Those are the two.
Well, Italy's on my bucket list. I have gone to Egypt, and it was amazing. Amazing.
Wow.
And if you want to study, there's plenty.
Yay.
As far as Maya, as far as your what you want to do once you complete your comm studies at Laney College, what are you looking to study next? And career-wise, what are you looking at maybe doing?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to maybe starting my own business. I love to cook and really just craft and do craftsmanship. But after Laney, I was also thinking of traveling with my communication studies major. Just because recently I've been taking the Spanish class that's offered in Laney College and this geography class this spring semester, and they both helped me like open my eyes to see that the world is much bigger than Oakland, because being from Oakland native, sometimes that, there's places like Egypt and Italy, but you don't really think about it as much until you have these classes that continue talking about the platonic, the plates in the world, the San Andreas Fault. And then in my Spanish class, I'm learning about cultures, different Latin American cultures. So I'm thinking of maybe being like a global communicator of some sort. And yeah.
You could be a reporter, a world reporter. You can also be a travel reporter or travel writer. You can also be
Yeah, yeah.
there's so much.
And honestly,
A photojournalist that travels.
that'd be so cool because I've been to Ghana and I've been to El Salvador and Mexico. And each time I go, I make a little documentary for myself to show when I'm like 30 or something.
Excellent conversation as we talk to our speech and leadership club students right here at the President's Desk on 96.9 FM KGPC. All right, I want to bring this question full circle now. Jerry, mechanical engineering degree in hand. What are you looking to do career-wise?
Oh, that's kind of up in the air, but I think what's really neat about that in any STEM degree, it offers a lot of flexibility. And so you could put yourself in a lot of different areas from like finance to going the typical STEM route right into your major, but also I think that for now I might want to after college, after like I transfer into a 4-year university, I might pursue something in the military to hopefully maybe get a change of pace.
Which branch are you looking at?
I'd say I'm torn between the Air Force or the Navy.
Okay, interesting. Are you looking to attend one of those academies or just to serve?
I've been looking into both. However, I think schooling might be a little bit of I don't want to say like I would be exhausted afterwards, but I think maybe enlisting and just getting straight to the job, right? Getting into some use. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. You mentioned just, being maybe an older student than your fellow clubmates. Tell us about your life before Laney College.
Oh, within high school or?
Either.
Okay. Well, like a lot of students, I come from like an ethnic background, and so like at the time I was living in Florida, and then my family, we were kind of like pushed out because they were still undocumented and pursuing their citizenship, and so they moved to Oakland because they knew it was a sanctuary city, and we got a lot of nice services there, and it was really good.
That's great.
And I think whenever coming from high school to Laney, I think it was a great adjustment for me because I did struggle academically. And so that helped me make that adjustment. And I think maybe going on to like a 4-year would have been definitely like, how would I say? It would probably push me to my limit.
What do you think you've gotten from this experience that now has you more ready for the 4-year experience?
Oh, I'd say in my time, like moving back and forth from California to Florida, I didn't get much of an education. So like, I think what Laney offered me is kind of like that gradual, like up to speed, because I felt like I just went from middle school to college. And so just kind of like recapturing, that lost momentum, right?
I totally understand your answer. I actually had been overseas for a number of years. And when I came back, I was going to resume my master's degree studies. And before I did that, just exactly to kind of help the need that you mentioned, I took a community college Spanish class just to kind of get back in the swing of going to school. And I found it helped me immensely when I got back into my 6th year graduate studies and a number of those things. That's fascinating. And also just Felicia, with some of Jerry's comments, it's great that I can acknowledge that we're actually at the 1-year anniversary of Laney College opening the Undocumented Student Resource Center. It's on the 2nd floor of our tower. Irandi Garcia is there, offers there are a number of services for students. And in a lot of ways, and I love this with the tables that are in the middle, there's students there, they're eating, they're talking, they're visiting, and they have computers, access to those. And of course, Irandi's awesome, but it's really turned into one nice resource for our students, which has been great.
It's great. How busy is it?
We've had a fair amount of traffic. Yeah. You've been there?
Yeah, I've been there. When I first came to Laney, it was like the first stop that I made. It was like, whoa, they had snacks, they had computers, a welcoming energy. So I felt welcome.
I've noticed they always seem to have food in there.
Yeah.
That's a good way.
The best snacks are the best.
Yeah.
Maybe Felicia, so we can get some sponsors for this show. Should we have food outside the parking lot?
I think so. I think so.
Is that something we could look at doing? Yeah. So Opal, what's it like being a Laney College student? How's student life been for you?
It's been pretty cool actually. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm also in student government, and so within that, you said my life as a Laney.
Yeah, just Laney College student. Actually, I believe that's where I first met you. Was ASC meeting? Yeah.
Yeah. It's been fun. Besides classes, I've been planning events and being a cool student government member. I also do sports and stuff. So I've been, it's like your regular student.
What are some of the events or at least one event that you've done through ASLCU that you've put on for the college?
About like during Christmas, I organized this event where there was, we passed out food. There was like,
right, I remember that.
Yeah, there was like cookies, ice cream, hot chocolate. The ice cream was actually from Jerry's idea. And,
Right.
We had a table where, cause the event was during, right before finals. And so we wanted to have this Christmas de-stressor event to help the community de-stress from their finals for a bit. So there's like sweets and stuff. And then on the side, there's an arts and crafts table where you could have the option to make cards and stuff. And
Now,
it was the event.
Felicia, there's a vicious rumor out there that I passed through the cookie line more than one time that day. I am here to clarify in the air. Opal is my witness. It's
That
not.
sounds like me. I can't walk away from sweets either.
Let me ask you this: just coming in high school grad, coming to Laney College, was there anything you learned about just putting on events, or maybe you learned about yourself while you were doing it?
I learned that, well, my transition from high school to Laney College actually was, I was doing online learning for the first 2 years.
Okay.
And, I didn't come out until this year for some reason. I finally felt comfortable cause like I went to, I had online school for the last 2 years of my high school. And so I just got accustomed to that. And I did that with my college experience too. And then afterwards, I branched out and came outside. And can you repeat your question?
No, just things you learned about yourself by getting in that role of putting on events.
Yeah, something that I learned about myself was that I really enjoy doing event planning and community-based jobs or just stuff, because it really gets people together, and you also realize that or at least I realized that the 2 years that I was stuck inside, there was this whole community outside, and I was just in there just on my computer instead of being in person.
I don't know what your plans are for the distant future. Of course, I know you want to go to Egypt, but but if you plan to stay in Oakland for any amount of time, certainly events in this city, there are numerous, and they come from all different areas of different fields, different offices, different entities. So I imagine if event planning and coordination is something that's interesting to you, there will be demand for your services, and you can say that you have that experience.
Thank you.
Maya, you kind of had the same thing coming out of high school. Sounds like you were also maybe online quite a bit, and then came into the experience of coming to a college face to face. What was that transition like for you as well?
To be completely honest with you, Rudy, it was hard.
Why so?
I am more of a old school learner where I like pen and paper and a teacher teaching me. I enjoy face to face where I can laugh with my professor. So when that was lacking in the school, I was not feeling it. I was not there. So when I transitioned from high school, I got my first online class, and it just wasn't a fit. So I took a gap year, which turned into 2 gap years. And then I just found Laney College, and actually I found the Undocumented Resource Center. And then I found two wonderful students named Anna and Anita that were in the process of creating the Speech and Leadership Club. And they just had this incredible energy and invited me to come in and join them. And that's where they empowered me to build my own self-confidence, to continue doing well in school, to even aspire to transfer to another college in the future. So yeah, it was like a full, not a 360, like more like a 180.
Well,
Yeah.
I would compliment you because, you know, as you know, life happens and
Yeah.
people will step away from their goal, maybe what they're doing, and take, as you said, a gap here. Let's say that I'm someone who's still in my gap, and I was going to go to school, or maybe I did, and I've stepped away, taken a year or two off, and I talk with you. What advice would you give me as I make the transition coming back to school, especially as an adult learner?
Wow. Yeah. Especially as an adult learner, I would say to remain humble and to remain open-minded, because that's the beauty of coming to community college, where I have classmates that are like 60 years old, that are 40 years old, that are
Amazing, isn't it?
you know, and it's like, that's one of the greatest things that I love, because you can learn from other people's experiences. But I would really say to have faith in yourself. First and foremost, have faith in yourself that whatever you set your mind to, you can do. So, and it's never too late.
It's great advice.
Yeah.
I want you all to tell me a little bit more about the Speech and Leadership Club. Like, what's your mission? Recruit me as a member.
Well, you're welcome to join us. Yes. So what we do is basically have trainings, like speech trainings, where we empower our voices. So one of our advisor is Mariela Tanning. She's amazing. She's a communications professor. And what she has us train in is to, you know, speak our truth, even if that's like yelling or, you know, saying truths about ourselves, about our world, and she really helps us navigate our own leadership and what that means to us. And yeah, we actually had an event called Speech and Leadership Training. I think it was this Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it happened this Monday, and we basically had a training where we tried to figure out what kind of leaders we are, because each individual of us we possess traits,
different qualities.
Yeah, everyone has different traits and qualities of themselves, and depending on those traits, it'll lead you to certain places in life. And there's different kinds of leaders, like one of them being like a servant leader or a transformative leader. And yeah, what she said. And it's cool to know that who you are. And we had a training where it guided us to those.
One of the main activities was also like, she described to us the qualities of a leader and had us really sit with ourselves and explain to us what kind of qualities we do have and what kind of qualities we want to work on.
Okay, so you walked into this question. What kind of leader are you all? So Opal, we'll start with you since you're the president, and then Jerry, and
Maya's
then
the
Maya. Oh, Maya's the president.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 words or less. What
Right,
kind of
Maya.
leader are you? Just real quick.
Okay.
I'm an authentic leader.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Opal, what kind of leader are you?
I'm an
Action-oriented leader?
Yeah, action-oriented initiative leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Event planning, stuff like that feeds right in. Jerry, what kind of leader are you?
I'm more so a observant leader or listening leader.
Okay. All right. So someone who kind of sets the stage for others through listening. That's a lot of what happens. Excellent. Okay. So I got to ask this question, and then we're going to take a little break. As you, because I'm hearing transfer with the three of you, as something that's very real. As you go to your third and fourth, your junior and senior years of college, do you see Speech Club as something that you can be continuing?
Definitely.
Okay. Because I know in addition to being part of Speech Club, there's also competitive speech, doing original oratory, doing debates. My thing when I was in high school, and actually my son does it as well, is extemporaneous speaking. That's where you do current events, dramatic interpretation, comedic reading. Does any of those speak to any of that type of competing speak to any of you?
Definitely. Actually, for my geography final, we had the chance to either do a presentation or a little play. And that's where the little speech and leadership of part of me comes out, because we're going to do a play about geography.
Okay. Jerry?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think for what also kind of, cause going back to, you said comedic reading, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think, something that kind of exposed me to not only speech and leadership, but also that sort of side was also like acting.
Okay. There you go.
I think that could be utilized in a lot of different areas. Yeah.
Opal, how about you? If you were to do competitive speaking, what would your event be?
I wouldn't do competitive, but I'd probably do something comedic, because I say in real life, I'm pretty funny.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, can you all stick around for a little bit, or I got to do a little bit of business here, but I want to talk a little bit more about the club and what's going on. So, all right. And as we kind of transition at this point, I absolutely will remind our listeners that you're tuned in to the President's Desk right here at KGPC 96.9 FM.org or on the dial at 96.9 FM. All right. Well, Felicia, at this point in the show, I'm going to shift to our Partners of Laney feature. Lots going on. End of the school year. Companies out there looking for people. Want to give a first shout out to PepsiCo, as they are actually hiring some of our students in machine technology. And just want to appreciate that relationship. Last year they actually gave $500,000 across Peralta for scholarships for students. Just an incredible partner. Even though I'm a Diet Coke drinker, I definitely have to give a shout out.
I guess bottling.
There's just a lot of different uses.
Things. Okay.
Yeah, we've got to get some of our faculty in here in machine just to talk to them as well as our students.
Absolutely.
An amazing event we had on Saturday was on Saturday, April 26th, was our Career and Technical Education Open House, where we really just opened our entire campus up to the community. And I want to thank our show contributor, Raya Zion, as well as Kim Gonzalez, Dean of Career and Technical Education, Alejandria Tomas, all of our amazing career and technical education faculty and staff who really just put the best face on for the campus that was possible. And it was amazing. But it wasn't just Laney employees that were there. We actually had a number of industries show up, do tabling, walk around, answer questions. Want to give a shout out to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. That's right. We had unions on our campus. They want to partner with us. McGuire Hester Construction Management was there. This is a partner these are partners we've given shout outs to on previous episodes. Tesla was there. Still just continue to appreciate the internships to the 10-person cohorts that they do every year for Laney. East Bay Municipal was there, as well as BART. They were all there. And we're embarking, and I kind of play on words, departing on a new partnership. United Airlines is actually joining the Laney community to partner with a number of careers. Obviously, there's service and just so many other things. And so all of that was kind of linked to our open house last week on Saturday. But back on April 18th as well, we had a job fair, and you're not going to believe this, 250 people turned up for it. And, I think that the big number is really the result when you have partners like the Oakland Private Industry Council. And then some big names. Yeah, and then Alameda Health and Human Services came together just to do the event, which was great. And you know what, students, with the summer semester coming up, we're doing fewer classes, but about a week or two before the summer semester begins, or around before June 20th, you definitely want to reach out to Raya if you're interested in on-campus jobs that might be available through work study or otherwise. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an email and a phone number. Raya Zion can always be contacted at rzion@peralta.edu. And if you call, you can speak to her or leave a message at 510-464-3530. But if you go the message route, Raya has told me countless times, email's the fastest way to get in touch with her. So from that, of course, I also want to say, as we transition at this point in the show, to students who are enrolled at Laney College, that the President's Office provides one-time support scholarships for students who might be facing unforeseen financial difficulties, that car breakdown in the middle of the semester, you're short on rent, something like that impacts your ability to attend or finish school during the semester. If you are in difficulty, please reach out to my office at 510-464-3219 to get information about the scholarship, as we do up to a $500 one-time award. And you can email me at rbesikof@peralta.edu. Now, to our community. Are you interested in supporting the President's Emergency Fund or other types of scholarships? Well, May 20th is a big day as the Dr. William Bill Riley Swing for Success Golf Tournament is happening at Sequoia Country Club, and there are still spots open. Please visit peraltafoundation.org for more details, whether you want to, join as a competitor in the tournament or be a volunteer at the event, or maybe do a little bit of both. That's something that's available to you. Now, you may not be a golfer, you might have plans on the 20th, but you can still support our students. And I'd just like to say to our employees and community members, all charitable gifts to Laney College or any of the other Peralta colleges are in fact tax deductible, and they're processed through our Peralta Colleges Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. If you have questions about the foundation, please reach out to them. Margie and Ricky do an amazing job just answering the public's questions. You can call them at 510-587-7809 or email them. Let me say that again, 587-7809, or email them at pfs@peralta.edu. Also, to our employees, it is possible to donate regularly through a monthly payroll deduction, which is done pre-tax. And my office or the foundation can provide answers to any questions that you might have. All right. So let's go ahead and turn back to our guests. Very happy to welcome Jerry, Opal, and Maya back to the show. You three are 30 minutes down and 30 minutes to go in the podcast experience. How are you holding up?
Feeling good.
All right. Doing all right? Okay.
Still nervous.
Okay. So I want to go back to a question Felicia had and just kind of hit the reset button a little bit here. What is the Speech and Leadership Club? What is it?
The Speech and Leadership Club is a club at Laney campus, whose vision is to empower student self-confidence through trainings, through community, and to develop personal and professional development.
Did you join because you were in a communications class, the three of you, or did you actually seek them out? How did you get connected with the club? Opal?
Yeah, I actually met them through an event that they were hosting. And then through that, they were recruiting, and then I just got involved.
Do you remember what event?
Well, it's partly how I joined student government too. They had a table where they had all the clubs tabling.
It's the Club Rush. Okay.
Yeah, Club Rush at the Quad.
Mm-hmm.
And I that's where I also met Anita. And that's when I got to know the former presidents of Speech and Leadership Club.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm here.
Jerry, how'd you get involved?
Yeah, so it's for me it was really recently. I think I naturally revolved around the groups of people, and I would attend like the events and training, and so recently I'm trying, especially as the semester closes, to get as much experience as I can, just so I could be as much as a help as it has been for me.
Felicia, this seems like a fun group of three people, doesn't it? I can't imagine anything boring going on, not even meetings. So I'll ask the question, when you come together and you have your club meetings, what are those like? Take us behind the curtain.
Yeah, well, they're amazing. Actually, we meet every Mondays and Tuesdays at the Student Center on the 4th floor. You can find us from 12 to 1 on Mondays and Tuesdays. And what really happens is usually we do a little community icebreaker, and then we talk about business, and then we plan events, debrief, and then, yeah.
And then besides planning, sometimes, maybe an event just ended, we'll have a little celebration, or we'll just come together and talk as like a community. It's fun to talk, so why not? Just like how we are right now.
Jerry, what's the last thing you remember about something you did with the club?
I think for me, it would have to be, definitely speaking, like, whether that's typical conversation or just talking about like our goals, some things with more significant meaning. I feel like just expressing yourself, especially with these stressful midterms and finals, it definitely helps to keep going.
There's a lot of healing in
Of why.
conversation, because as students, sometimes we carry a lot. So it's important to talk amongst ourselves and just express how we're feeling within good or bad and how we can support each other. So that's what the club is for.
Yeah, I often found there was kind of that second channel of learning for me. And at my college, there was a place called the UMC, the University Memorial Center, and that's where all the tables were. And you'd sit down and talk with your classmates or people about class. And I almost felt like I was learning, but on kind of more of a fun express route in some ways. So, yeah. Excellent. So, okay, I got to share this with you because, and just so you know, my co-host is also a doctor in communication studies. That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
But, okay, I don't know if you're all aware of the comedian Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Kramer. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, a big nod from Jerry for our listening audience. But he was doing stand-up comedy, and Jerry Seinfeld was, and made the joke about fear of public speaking, and said that the fear of public speaking is people's greatest fear, and that death is second. Okay. And then made the joke that if people are at a funeral, they'd rather be dead than speaking. They'd rather be the person who's dead than speaking. So I imagine we all in different ways have that fear of public speaking.
That's what
Have you had it? And what are you finding you do to address it?
like how to handle it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give somebody?
I'd say to keep going. As this podcast was rolling, I can feel my sweat drip down my back and just my hands sweating. I'm shaking and my face feeling hot. But
You're doing a great job, though.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It definitely takes practice, from just like everything. But I don't feel like you'll ever get over the fear of public speaking. You kind of just push through it like anything, like trauma or stuff. You won't ever get over it. You just learn to live with it, and you'll be okay with it someday, sometime.
I'm hearing put your foot on the gas and keep going.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's for actionable leader skills, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actionable leadership. There you go.
Yeah.
Jerry, how about you? What would you say to somebody who's just got that fear of public speaking?
I would say it's totally natural, and I know everyone says it like a million times, but it just takes, for what I've experienced in like my time, like not just public speaking, but like, being put on the spot, whether that's like performing in sports, is that you just need to sometimes take baby steps. Like sometimes you might like contribute a little bit to it, and further down the line, you'll find yourself contributing a lot.
Okay. So kind of that slow down, take nice manageable bites, then take the bigger bites into the apple. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Okay. Opal?
I think in the future, I will probably look back at this club, and I can probably get through anything if I really want to and strive to, because I don't know, this club has given me a lot of courage to just speak to a crowd. It's quite hard for me actually, but I'm kind of doing it, and one thing I think about how this club will help me is like in my career. I feel like in the future, I'm probably gonna speak to people in different languages, and to me, that's like 10 times harder than speaking to someone in English, which is a language for me that's like really, I'm comfortable.
Sure.
I engage in it all the time. So, speaking in a language and to an audience that I'm not too familiar with it's hard, but through this club, it's always given me courage to do more things. And
the times, and Felicia's heard me do it on air a couple of times, the times that I've shifted to one of my other languages, I actually find that I'm so focused on don't make a grammar mistake that I forget that I'm speaking publicly or doing anything like that. So I don't know if that's any comfort down the road, but there you go. Maya, how about you? What do you think you'll be taking with you into your career or your life's work?
Definitely to let things flourish into themselves, because I started at this in this club as a member. And then I slowly progressed into becoming the president, and I slowly progressed into being a leader to my fellow members and knowing how to collaborate with like Opal when we want to do a reel on Instagram, or when we want to do anything, just learning how to collaborate with other people is super important, because, we can't do things by ourselves. We have to do it in community and have that safe space.
Felicia, she said whenever they do reels on Instagram, I know the cameras are rolling right now with the three of them, and even out in the lobby when we were getting ready, they were rolling away and producing and doing all those things. What's it like being president of the club?
It's definitely my first. I'm learning on the job. Yeah, because I've never been a president of a club. But, given the title of the club and leadership and speech, I was like, well, let me take it up. Let me take it up to myself to, transform my own life. And I'm already at Laney, and, I want to embrace the full college experience and take leadership over my own life, which is actually the event that we're having on Monday that I want to cordially invite you and Felicia to.
Oh, tell us about it.
So it's an event called Transformative Leadership. It's going to be at Laney Quad from 12 to 2, I believe. Yes, Opal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's basically going to be a little training that will inspire us to speak up about our own leadership, of what leadership looks like, because we all have personal identities and we all carry leadership in different ways. So it's important to just speak on what kind of leader are you and how that can potentially help other audience members.
Wow, great advice as we're tuned into the President's Desk right here on 96.9 FM,
yes.
KGPC. All right. So this summer, what's going on? What are you up to?
I'm going to Florida to visit a friend.
Okay.
And I'm also planning a trip with some college mates. We're going to go on a road trip down to San Diego, Grand Canyon, and Nevada. Yeah.
Jerry, you traveling at all?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be in that group of friends with Opal.
Oh, you're going with Opal. And then, Maya, how about you? What are you doing this summer?
Working.
Okay, excellent. Well, you know what? I just want to take this moment right now for our TV audience to thank you for tuning into the President's Desk, and to our radio audience, stay tuned for 10 bonus minutes.
Thank you.
Excellent. So, just maybe we kind of had a brief overview of the event that's coming up. Jerry, what are you going to be doing at that event that's coming up?
So I'm pretty flexible. I think right now I'm going to help with organization, hopefully spread the word. And I think what we really want to do, especially as the semester closes, is get as many people as we can. So I'm going to try to emphasize on that, and invite my friends, other classmates that I haven't connected with too, so we could all build one last sense of community.
Excellent. Okay. And Opal, as we build up to this event on Monday, what's your role as far as what you're doing to help get it ready?
I'm going to put more flyers up around the school, and I'm going to notify some of the, I'm probably going to notify Laney Instagram or SLC Instagram to post more about it or repost about it. I'm currently also making a reel with Maya, so we're going to post that before the event to get people hyped about it. And I hope this podcast will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Maya, what do you see kind of on the ground that you think you'll be doing on Monday?
I'll definitely be just guiding the event for everybody to share their own experience, like holding the mic, and after a little activity that we could do, audience members, students, faculty can come up to the mic and say, hey, a true leader, expresses themselves and, sometimes is resilient, communicates, and, does things. So sometimes you need a reminder, especially as the year closes and summer begins, don't lose yourself, stay on your path and keep going.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. Of course, we're on radio, so I don't know how big a secret it's going to be, but Actually, on Monday, the 6th, I'm going to be there, and not just taking it all in, but it coincides. Every week I do something called President's Office Hour, and most of the time I'm in my conference room and I turn on Zoom, and people stop by and ask me questions or tell me some things that are going on at the college, which is great. But I'm kind of like the two of you. I'm not the biggest Zoom fan. So what I do once in a while on Mondays at 12:30 is I go out on the quad and I do my office hour, but I do it as Coffee on the Quad with the president. So I'm going to be conducting Coffee on the Quad across from you. Might even have some other refreshments besides coffee. So as you are in need of caffeine or other things during the event, please be sure to come by and see me, and certainly want to welcome the greater Laney community to that, which I think is important.
That's
of course. Yeah. So, all right. So what's one thing that maybe your clubmates have learned about you outside student life and outside being part of the club? What's something you maybe people now understand about you just by making all these relationships?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
All right, Alicia, I got it. That's a good question.
Right.
Not that I keep score, right? Yeah, but
I would say something that I hope people learned about me was how honest I am, and how committed I am to the group, to the collectiveness of what we can do. Because sometimes I do stay to myself, but this year around, I was like, it's time to be here for the community. So I hope they seen that.
So it's kind of making your personal ethics, especially honesty, more front facing.
Yes.
That's been important.
Yes.
What have you found has been people's reaction because of that?
What has been the reaction, Opal? I don't know.
Well, you're the president, so I really look up to you as the president. Like,
Thank you.
Wow, Maya's the president, and she lives up to it.
So much love. Yeah.
That's great. Well, Maya, you just took over the podcast and started asking the questions, so that was great. That was good. No, good job. But let's see, Jerry, how about you? What's something that maybe people have gotten to know about you that perhaps they didn't know?
I think sharing my educational experience. A lot of people, well, I wouldn't say they're surprised. More so, I'm surprised to realize that other people have similar experiences, and it helps me out too, because we kind of lift each other up, right? They guide me to different clubs and resources, and so it's kind of like a sort of a bullying situation, where we're all going up.
Okay. Opal, how about you?
I'd say, well, I feel like it eventually shows, because you were saying how something that I do or am that will that people have realized about me is that I'm a effort person.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see me do a lot more than I say, or I'm
show.
but action, action.
I'm hearing a lot of behind the scenes, set designer type, leadership.
Oh yeah. The flyers, I'll tell you this. The flyers, every time I hang the flyers, it takes me an hour to hang it around the whole school. And sometimes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I can't believe it takes an hour actually. But I measured it. I was like, okay, I've passed out 20 to 30 flyers and put it around the school or the places that I'm assigned to put it. And it takes about an hour to walk. And I do this every week.
Yeah. And also, sorry to cut you off, but anytime I have an idea, I just go to Opal. I'm like, Opal, we need to make a flyer that says this, and this. And they're like,
and then I make a flyer in 20 minutes and I show the club, and then I'm like, is this good? And then they give me some feedback and I remake it again.
Yeah.
What's the experience of being in the student government been like?
It's a lot. It's kind of the same thing where I'm doing flyers and organizing events, and people are asking me about, oh, how should I do a better event, or what do you think I should do, or what kind of food and stuff. And then I also have all the contacts to the catering, or be like, oh, this is Alfred's number, or you can
right, Alfred Brown. Yeah. Amazing job in our food services. Yeah.
What's it like? I'd say it's definitely strengthened my public speaking too, because I do public speaking as an ASLC member. And actually, someone who got me into ASLC was Camilla. And oh man, she's like my bestie. And like ASLC,
Let me ask you this.
she's a big part of it. And
let me ask you this, because we're going to be wrapping up in a minute here, because I did hear food as a part of meetings. And I'll share, because I was actually when I went to university, I was the president of my dormitory, and we had about 1,500 people in this particular area. And I got, in terms of food, I'll tell you what my experience was, but whether it's the student government or the speech and leadership club, what are people wanting to eat? Or if you've got a hold of the menu, what are you ordering as a leadership decision?
Okay, so personally, I'm also the president of the engineering club, right?
Okay.
So
wow, we're finding out a lot of stuff here.
President, hey, you guys are
So,
active.
yeah,
We'll just call this the president's.
President's table.
what I found is that everyone, at least in my group, we appreciate meat, right? Anything, right?
Okay.
Like in terms, let's say we're having a pizza, right? Meat lovers all the way, or like some like what is it? We do have some alternatives for some people, right? But a lot of times we're very carnivorous. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'd say particularly in the speech, we like to eat all our fruit.
Okay.
Yeah, we eat
Sounds
like
pretty
oranges,
healthy.
apples. Fruit.
Okay.
I think that, well, in the quad, there's always tacos and Mexican food being passed out. So I think, and no one really objects to it. And I asked, oftentimes I ask the Chinese ladies in the quad, asking them, because they'll ask me what this is. And I'll be like, there's meat and there's tacos. And they seem to like it too. It really is, like Jerry said, meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been awesome. Well, I'll just tell you, and I mean, this was like formal business in our meetings. We would do whatever we had to do in the meetings. And then somebody, this never failed, would raise their hand at the end of the meeting and they say, I need to make a motion for the next meeting. I'd say, okay, pizza. We have to have pizza. And it was kind of like we'd have meetings and we talk about food choices. Choice 1 would be pizza, 2 would be pizza, and 3 would be pizza. So it was kind of, back in my day, that was definitely what we're doing. So anyway, Opal, Maya, Jerry, want to thank you so much for joining us today. Felicia, wasn't that a lot of fun?
It was.
It really was. So anyway, just appreciate you. And down the road, if you want to come back, we'd love to have you on again. So Opal, you made it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. Anyway, as we wrap up another edition of the President's Desk, we want to thank our listeners up and down the great state of California, from the far north in the 717 and the 530, all the way down to SoCal in the 619. Big shout out to 2 special people out there, as well as our listeners right here in the 510, tuning in today from Lake Merritt, Oakland, Chinatown, downtown Oakland, West Oakland, East Lake, Fruitvale, Diamond, North Oakland, Adams Point, Central Oakland, East Oakland, the Oakland Hills, Montclair, Piedmont, and of course, those right here in Oakland at the Lady Campus listening to us today. As we close up shop at the President's Desk, turn off the desk light and move on with today's show. Felicia, take us home.
Absolutely. I give a shout out to the Speech and Leadership Club at Laney College.